Oh yeah, it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
And then let's go with it. All right.
We Lady Lynn.
Hello,
Y'all know
hello,
what
hello,
today
hello.
is? Do you know what today is?
It's Famous Friday.
It's Famous
Famous
Friday.
Friday.
Famous
Yeah.
Friday.
We did our first week of City Hall this week for the new year, 2025.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Ms. Jackson, you did the Famous Friday, red bag, red hat.
Yes,
Yes. And we pulled out, well, you picked 22nd Ward, Alderman Michael Rodriguez.
yes, aka light bulb head.
AKA Chucky.
Chucky, the Chucky doll. Yes.
The Chucky doll. Yes. He is one of the members of the Hispanic KKK down there. Okay. Yes. Let's get into it.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Alderman Rodriguez earned his bachelor's degree from DePaul University and a master's from the School of Social Service Administration at the University of Chicago. He worked as an executive officer at the Cook County Medical Examiner's Office and was the executive director of the nonprofit Alliance, an organization founded by Congressman Jesus Chuy Garcia Jesus.
Chuy Garcia. Chuy.
Garcia.
Okay.
That worked on social issues in Little Village. Rodriguez ran for 22nd Ward Alderman in 2019 election for Chicago City Council in an open race to succeed Ricardo Munoz. He was the alderman over there. We'll get into Ricardo real quick too. And he was facing three other candidates in the first round of the election on February 26, 2019. He won 64% of the vote and became the alderman elect.
How old was he, Zoe?
He's like 42, I think.
Oh, okay.
Look at, you want to know how old he is? You know?
He was when he ran won.
Oh, okay. Let's look it up. Let me see. Good old alderman light bulb.
Yeah.
Right.
AKA Chucky doll. Chucky doll.
Have you seen the Chucky doll? He looked like the Chucky doll. He looked like the Chucky doll. You know that movie Chucky? Okay, and you know when, at first Chucky got like a lot of red hair or whatever, but then like by the time he be like Chucky 2, Chucky 3, and people start messing Chucky up, then Chucky ended up with no hair. Chucky ends up jacked up. Chucky, that's who he reminds you of, that Chucky doll. Look at the movie.
Chucky without the hair. That was.
Yeah. That's that Chucky doll. Yes.
Oh. So he's like 44, 43 back then when he won, but he's 47.
Oh, he was 43 when he won. Okay.
He's 47 now.
Okay.
And Ricardo Munoz, who was a former member of the Chicago City Council, he served from 1993 until 2019. He was the longest tenured Latino and fourth longest tenured member of the Chicago City Council. August 2009. In January 2019, Munoz was arrested and charged with misdemeanor domestic battery stemming from an incident with his wife on New Year's Eve. An order of protection filed with Cook County Domestic Violence Court. Betty Torres Munoz alleged intoxicated Munoz grabbed and pushed her, causing injury to her head, back, and left arm, and that she feared for her well-being. He pleaded guilty and was acquitted in June 2019. But April 2019, Reports emerged that Munoz had spent nearly $37,000 from the funds of the City Council Progressive Reform Caucus Political Action Committee, for which he had served as a treasurer on questionable expenses, including $13,000 paid to himself. So that's really why he had to step down. In April 2021, he was indicted by federal prosecutors on 15 counts of wire fraud and 1 count of money laundering related to the use of caucus PAC funds between October 2016 and 2020, and pleaded not guilty to these charges. In September 2021, he changed his plea to guilty on 1 charge of wire fraud and 1 charge of money laundering. In the plea agreement in March 2022, he was sentenced to 13 months in prison, 18 months probation, in order to pay $6,000 in restitution. On August 25th, 2024, he was sentenced to serve 7 more months in prison after violating his parole for driving while intoxicated in May 2024, 3 months after he's been released from prison. So that is who he
So hold on, though.
That was the great defeat. That was the great defeat.
Great. So wait a minute. So he was the alderman before, right?
Yeah, from 1993 to 2019, and he mainly stepped down because he had no choice.
Yeah. So you all look at your aldermen, and we keep telling you all this is what your aldermen are about and what they doing, stealing money and how they doing things. Look at your aldermen. Look at these people. That's in your office.
Look at City Hall. You know, we have yet. We did today makes what, our 4th alderperson. Now we did 2 groups because we did CHA and then we did corrupt judges. But as it pertains to the individuals, this is our 4th alderperson. And of these 4, so far, we haven't got into Rodriguez just yet because we're talking about the person who preceded him. But all of them dirty, all of them criminal backgrounds or caught up in something scandalous. This is Chicago's City Hall. This is how Chicago has maintained the beautiful title of being the most corrupt city in the United States of America. This is how. Look at the people that are in office. And we are 4 aldermen in. Go ahead, Zoe.
Yes. He is part of let's see. He's part of the Progressive Latino Caucus, Progressive Reform Caucus, and the Latino Caucus of the Chicago City Council. And he actually also was elected in 2021 as a 2-year term chairman of the Chicago Latino Caucus Foundation. He currently sits on the following city council committees: Committee on Aviation, Committee on Budget and Government Operations, Committee on Committees and Rules, Committees on Contracting, Oversight and Equity, Committee on Housing on Real Estate, Committee on Immigrant and Refugee Rights, Committee on Special Events, Cultural Affairs and Recreation, Committee on Transportation and Public Way. He's actually vice chair for that. Committee on Workforce Development, Committee on Zoning, Landmarks, and Building Standards. Now remember, Committee on Zoning, Landmarks, and Building Standards, just remember that he's on that committee. Just remember that throughout this. All right.
And immigration.
And immigration too.
And remember that he wasn't there yesterday for landmarks and for zoning.
Yesterday or Wednesday or Tuesday.
Keep in mind of that too, that he's on these committees, like the landmark and the zoning that we saw that was yesterday, and he wasn't there. Go ahead.
And maybe he's watching this right now. You weren't there, Hispanic KKK. All right. Now, When I remember, okay, so when the immigration crisis Ponzi scheme was happening.
Hey, Zoe, I'm sorry, can I interrupt you for 1 second? Keep your thought. Can you just tell people why you call them? So, because you referred to them as the Hispanic KKK. Before all this, can you just tell us why you
Well, he's
referred to
one of the peace part. So we already did one of the ringleaders of the Hispanic KKK, Carlos Ramirez Rosa. But the Hispanic KKK are the people the Hispanics who are in the Progressive Reform Caucus, also are that believe in the socialist ideology that is anti-American and anti-Chicago citizens, and they are the ones who scream black and brown, and they're progressively talking about they're against the police and all of those things because it's harming black and brown. But at the end of the day, they're on a mission. They're on their separate, dangerous mission, and they're affecting Chicago. It's a socialist agenda that they have been working on for a very long time, from the Progressive Reform Caucus to the socialist DSA, the Democratic Socialist Agenda, to the anti-police and those things, and for migrants. I mean, they know that this migrant crisis is affecting our communities, know that it's affecting Chicago citizens, especially the vulnerable citizens is already here, the displacement of us, and they don't care because it's for their financial gain, it's for their political gain, and them trying to take over the government, trying to hijack the government with this this socialist corrupt agenda that they started in 2019. The alderman that got in there in 2019, ironically, but yes. And he's one of the main ringleaders. He sits there and acts like he doesn't know what's going on, and he doesn't have, he's for the people, and and all that stuff. But no, he's one of the main people involved in this, involved in the voting against American citizens, anything that against Chicago citizens.
Okay, thank you.
Like someone, thank you, Tyler, for the donation. Like Jesse Fuentes, Andre Vasquez, Brian Cicho Lopez, Rosanna Rodriguez Sanchez, Carlos Ramirez Rosa, the Latino racist clown crew. That's what someone said. And that's that's it right there.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Okay, I just want to ask you that.
As far as the migrant immigration Ponzi scheme crisis, when I was starting going down there, about my property and about fighting and stuff like that, and I started noticing him and how he was voting, and then I started noticing just watching him online and on Twitter, and then just seeing things that he would say. And then when I started noticing that they were pushing for the for them to come here and for the money for them and all this stuff about this being a sanctuary city, but none of them were going into their wards. They wanted all the migrants here, and they didn't want them to be arrested, and they're seeking asylum. But none of these Venezuelans, because these are Venezuelans, they cannot go on over to their wards. And the reason why they cannot go over to their wards, because the Venezuelans don't get along with these Mexicans. Okay, it would have been it's already started now, but it would have really caused havoc. However, because I feel like people were pushing back, and like I said, me and Ms. Jessica and others was down there all the time and stuff like that. All of a sudden, some of the Hispanic KKK started talking about shelters in their wards. He happened to be one. It was the CVS. There was abandoned CVS in his ward, and one of the shelters was supposed to be there, and it's still on his website, on his Alderman website, about this shelter. But the shelter never happened.
What's his district? What is that? His district?
He has Little Village.
Uh-huh.
Hold on, let me get it all. I'll get
Because Little Village,
Archer Heights.
Uh-huh.
Let me get the rest of it. I want to make sure I got all part of
his ward.
Yeah.
That's the one who was on TV talking about that they were going to
hold on, Leclerc-Hurst,
okay.
Little Village, North Lawndale, Sleepy Hollow, and Vidum Park. So that's his ward.
Okay, so if anybody is watching that's that's your alderman. Okay.
Yeah. And so the state of Illinois this is what his statement was on his website. It's still there now. The state of Illinois has made us aware that a lease will soon be signed for the former CVS property located at 2634 South Pulaski Road, with the plan to utilize the space for a temporary migrant family shelter. The state-supported site will operate as part of the existing City of Chicago shelter system, and work on the site will commence Wednesday, November 28th, and that's 2023, with the goal of moving migrant family members into the site in the following 2 to 3 weeks. Never happened. Never happened, because what happened was what overshadowed was that Brighton Park tent situation that happened when everybody, all eyes was on that. So what they were trying to do was trying to divert people, Brighton Park people, looking at that and talk about the CVS that was supposed to be over here in Little Village, but that never happened as well, because it wasn't going to happen, because it was going to be a shootout out there. They don't belong. And coming, we'll talk about that, later on in there, because of the violence of now what's going on over there. But yes, that was one of the reasons. So yes, the migrant office never happened. It was supposed to be at that time. Like he says, the city of Chicago is facing a humanitarian crisis. They love to say that during the migrant crisis that we were facing a humanitarian crisis, with over 1,500 asylum seekers sleeping on the floors or in tents in front of police stations across the city. So that was the main thing. They didn't have no idea what they were going to do and all that stuff.
So they never did go in his neighborhood.
Never did go in his neighborhood. Never went into never went into any of the Hispanic KKK aldermen's wards.
So they came all in ours. But never
voted for it. The black and brown. We have to come together. We have to do this. Ted Cruz had black people come out there, the ones who are brainwashed about the black and brown, had them come out there speaking about Palestinians and all that type of stuff, while they were pushing them in our neighborhoods, knowing what they were doing. But you had certain black people that were part of the progressive caucus, like a Jeanette Taylor, like Lamont Robinson, like a Desmond Yancey, that also was going with that. They're part of that too. And who got the illegals? Did they get the illegals, or did we get the illegals?
So in other words, they pushed for them to come.
They pushed for them to come.
And really advocated for them to come.
Stand up. He was very vocal. Like when this was really going on, the migrant crisis, we were coming down there. Other people was coming down there. He was standing up about how this was a humanitarian crisis, how we have to take care of them. I mean, I've got quotes on things that he said about these migrants coming here.
And then when it was time to house them, they put them all in our neighborhood. So in other words, his community because they don't get along, put them all in our community, displacing us. So now in Chicago, we would have had Hispanics, Venezuelans, and where the blacks at.
Right.
So we just out of here. We just whatever. It
didn't matter, because they were going to keep pushing that black and brown. Like one of the things that Miss Jessica kept seeing down there was, y'all keep talking about this black and brown, but brown is getting everything
and pushing us out.
pushing us out. And you know, one of his things that he kept saying, one thing he said October 8th, 2023, I make the argument that we need more migrants in the city. To say we have no room for migrants is not only anti-immigrant, it's anti-American. This country was founded by immigrants, and this country is strong because of migration.
I see why you said Hispanic KKK. I see why you said that. Wow.
I mean, I just don't know what to say. I'm just lost for words.
I'm waiting for you because I can't believe it. Because you just looking like.
I mean, what is it to say to such nonsense, to such, and the fact that, like you said, you had Black alder people down there like Jeanette Taylor and Yancey and Lamont Robinson and William Hall and them, Angela Clay, all them down here just going for it. Just going for it. I mean, going hard for them. And I guess some of the logic to it might be like what you were saying about they didn't put them in the CVS over there because the gangs and the two gangs gonna start acting up with each other. Mexicans don't get along with the Venezuelans. I don't understand for a minute why we would be concerned about that. We can't even control one Black gang against another Black gang in our area. And then we're going to turn around and reach all the way across the water to deal with some of their gang violence, to make sure that their gang violence gets deterred. That goes, I'm telling you, it goes back this right here. Our minds ain't right. Somebody like they say, somebody told us wrong. This thing of thinking that it's so Christian to care so much more about other people than yourself is crazy. But the more and more I listen to this and the more and more I pay attention to what's going on, and I'm realizing, no, it ain't about being a Christian. Right. That's not why we doing this. No. That ain't why, Danny.
That's right.
We do this because we are too spineless to deal with our problems. Black people got hard problems. And plus, we don't want to deal with our problems. We just arbitrarily jump into another lane with everybody else and take this on. See, that comes from. See, that's part of taking on the ways of the white man, the ways of your enemy. Don't you see that rather than white America deal with what it's going to take to make America right? And what is it going to take to make America right? It's going to take them making their relationship between Black and white right.
Yeah.
It's got to be made right. Not a few people here and there that are, open-minded and like-minded and cool, because we all know white individuals that are wonderful people. That is white people. We're not going to sit up here and deny that. I'm talking about institutionally. I'm talking about systematically. Those things have to be made correct. And because white America doesn't want to do that, don't you see, this is why they reach to doing stuff for other countries, make these false claims of acting like they benevolent, dealing with the problems of this country, dealing with the problems of that country, putting their peaceful ways and democracy ways over in this country, everything except for actually dealing with what's happening in this country between the poor relationship of Black and white. All the way to the point where they will literally leave a lane open of misguided information, like what you just read that Michael Rodriguez said. The immigrants built this country. It was made in this country. It was found. All that ill-spilled propaganda. Hispanics did not make America. No, they did not. Nobody's denying that immigrants come over here. Immigrants been coming over here. But to make life, immigrants did for this country what white people did for this country. I'm talking about Hispanic immigrants. Well, white people, it's just not true. To make life what Hispanic immigrants did for this country versus what black people did, it's just not true. And it's just amazing how people would just gravitate, black people included, will gravitate to that type of nonsense rather than dealing with what it's going to really take to make America whole. And that is for black and white people to come to an agreement on an institutional level, on a systematic level, and correct some of these wrongs that are, you know, make some of these wrongs right. Right. And not spew nonsense like that. We got to hear it from him. We got to hear it from Rosa. We got to hear from Jesse Fuentes. We got to hear it from Vasquez. We got to hear from, you know, stop. How about, I want them to one day just have a whole city council on their Hispanic heroes. Right, on their Hispanic heroes that support illegal immigration like this, that support you invading another country and demanding that country to take care of you. I mean, you're so strong, you're so determined, just the way he acts, the way Michael Rodriguez acts. Take some of this immigration money and go over here to these countries and demand over there.
Over your country. Go back to your country and fix your country.
Go over there and demand that people be treated right by that government that they were born into. Demand that government treat them right with their taxes. Demand it from them the way you stand in City Hall and demand it, because you are in America. And because this fight has been fought for you. So you come here and demand. But if you really feel that strongly about it, demand it over there in your country.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
That's right.
It's just I don't know what to say except for it's just a lie that's been festering and been allowed to fester for the last few years, because it has not always been the way that is now, with everybody talking about immigrants built this country and it has no. Immigrants have always been welcome to America. So it's the Statue of Liberty. But it wasn't this thing that, you know, like America owed immigrants something from that country. Now it's like we owe them. We better pay up. We better do. That's the attitude they're coming with now. That, you know, that we better. You better do this for us. You better. You better. And the Democratic Party is with it because there's something real sick going on with the Democratic Party.
Because they've been infiltrated with these people. See, they over here, they've been in, because, okay, well, I don't want to, I'll talk, because I don't want to get too far. I'll come back to this, what I'm going to say, but I don't want to really venture off the subject. Because this is because we see what's going on. Just like you've been saying, and I made a video about, these people should not be allowed to be in power. When you come from another country and you come over here, you should not be allowed to be in power in our government, because your allegiance and everything you trying to fight for is for that country to come up in here and get all the benefits and take over. It's not, your allegiance is not with the American citizens and the American people. It's all about your people, bringing them over here and getting everything, setting them up for greatness on the backs of the American citizens, because you have no allegiance to American citizens because you don't care. So it goes back to what you were saying, that you should at least, we should have some type of laws that you should at least be 4 generations in, or even more than that, before you are even allowed to hold any type of public official office, elective office, period. Because like you said, Trump said, these people don't love America or Americans. They actually hate what we stand for and who we are. That's what we're seeing.
I agree.
What the hell? Y'all all right over there?
That was, yeah, somebody's trying to call me. But yeah, go ahead.
He was definitely one of the aldermen who voted against ShotSpotter.
See?
Yes, and he's one of the people that's saying that ShotSpotter doesn't work. It doesn't detect anything. It never worked. But he also 4 people were shot and killed in Little Village over a span of approximately 2 weeks after ShotSpotter was taken out. And one occurred. One of the people were shot and executed right in front of his door, like maybe like 2 doors down from his office in broad daylight. Little Village has been a war zone for like the last 2 years, really bad. It's always been, they've always had their little stuff, just like the South Side, the West Side. They always try to put like little Village be going through their stuff too. They have the gangs, Latin Kings, and all that. However, since the ShotSpotter has been taken away, it has been a lot more shootings in Pilsen, in Little Village, and a lot of these wards, a lot of these Hispanic wards, where the Democratic Socialist Hispanic KKK aldermen, they have all voted against it. They've all voted against ShotSpotter. And
yeah, they did.
Shooting has been up here. The violence have been up here. The robberies, his robberies, it went up 45%. Little Village. I want to make sure. Although the span has been from March 2022 to March of this year of 2024. Robberies have increased nearly 48% in Little Village. Okay.
So then if that's the case, then Zoe, then why do you think he voted against ShotSpotter if he knew that the increases were going on in his ward, with the increase in crime going on in his ward? Then why do you think he voted to stop ShotSpotter?
I believe he voted to stop because a lot of people, they say it's two things. They say the ShotSpotter stock was going down. And then another reason, and they say that's one of the reasons why a lot of people were against ShotSpotter, even though they were trying to say it wasn't working. It wasn't working financially too, because stocks was going down. And then another reason, my personal reason why I think that they didn't do it is because of the trafficking, the drug trafficking, the sex. All the trafficking that's going on in these wards and getting paid for it. They're getting money for it. That's what I feel. That's why they went against. That's why they all voted with that executive order for the that ICE couldn't work with the CPD. Like all was planned. All was planned. So anything that has, but they'll try to say, well, they're anti-police, or it doesn't work, or we're wasting money, or we're wasting this. Y'all just stole $2.2 billion worth of immigration money. Y'all got all these, even with all those shelters and stuff that y'all had in place, y'all still had immigrants, illegals all over the place. Illegals was everywhere. There was all of the arguing and the fighting down there about letting them here, and they have to come here, and we have to make sure they're housed. They weren't housed. Then they started displacing our people. Because, and the only reason why they really started pushing them and started getting people up, because people were making noise. Everybody started watching Chicago. Everybody started seeing it. Wasn't just Chicago, because they weren't putting this on the mainstream media. You know how many people were evicted in our neighborhoods for illegals? So many of us were displaced.
So many.
And you know what I'm thinking? Oh.
No, go ahead, Dan.
And you know that was good, because that's what I was thinking too. When you think about it, y'all, think about all these people that come from these other countries, right? All of them. Now, that's the thing, we got a lot of drugs here, cartels, things like that. These people wasn't vetted to come over here. We see the drugs and everything. Now, think about it. He could have ties in these places, right? And saying, okay, I'm gonna allow this in his ward, and where he getting paid. Now he has power, because now he's pushing for taking away our protection of shop spotter, police, everything that's happened, he's anti. So what happens when that happens? The crime is able, Miss Jackson, the crime is able to they can get everything they want done, far as, like you said, Zoe, the drugs, sex trafficking, all those things they can be allowed. And
it's big business. It's big business. Like, it's business. You see it. You know, anybody has common sense, has street sense, has some type of political sense, and has economic sense, and also a person who know what it is, who know, and the thing trying to say that is anti-American if people say it's no more room for illegals to come here, and you're anti-American.
Yes.
You're anti-American. You don't care about nothing about safety when it comes to our communities. If you really cared about America, and you really cared about the black, black and brown, but the black part, you would have never allowed illegals to go into that elementary school.
Right.
If you really were American and you cared about black, you would have never let them go into that Hyde Park hotel and that hotel in Hyde Park. If you were American and really cared about the black and brown, you would have never let them flood South Shore the way that they flooded South Shore. If you really were American and you really was for black and brown. That's not black and brown. That's not being a humanitarian. That's not being a collaborator. That's not being a person that's for the people, for being a public servant. That is for your own personal financial. Bring these people over here and try to destroy the little bit that we have now.
It's all of that. And then at the end of the day, it's an invasion. It's an invasion. You know, that thing about 2019 and the fact that all of these that we're talking about came in 2019. Even that interview I was looking at with that Rod man, and they asked him, when did he see the Democratic Party change?
Rod, how you say it?
How you say his last name? We're gonna call him Rod
Vagorovich.
Yes.
Rod Vagorovich.
And he took, he had a on his interview that he did with Tucker Carlson the other night. And he talks about that in 2019, because Tucker Carlson asked him, when did the Democratic Party change in Chicago or in the Democratic Party at large? When did it change from the traditional Democratic Party that had always been? And he said in 2019, he said, particularly in Chicago, he said in 2019, it became the socialist group, a socialist core group that came in and took a lot of the people who had been in City Hall, took their seats and brought in this socialist group in 2019. You know, right there at the onset, I'm going to say at the preparation of COVID. Under COVID, so much stuff just got slipped in to us as citizens in America. It just, I mean, all kind of stuff just came in under COVID. When you look at things now, the explanation that they give for so much stuff is, for so many things is, yeah, because, you know, in COVID, or yeah, well, you know, coming out of COVID, or yeah, well, you know, due to COVID, I mean, when you sit back and look at all the things that happened during COVID, how City Hall was infiltrated by a socialist agenda, how schools was infiltrated with this LGBTQ curriculum and that infiltration of that. All that happened in 2019. You know, and thereafter, a lot of stuff got slipped in to us during COVID. Starting with bringing this group in and then sliding in all kind of stuff after that. And this is what we're left with. And I don't care what nobody said. This right here is a particular agenda. And when you see how Mayor Brandon Johnson with these Hispanics and Michael Rodriguez and them, like what we're talking about, and you see the way that he's moving versus the way that Eric Adams and these other Democratic mayors are moving. They're standing back, so to speak, like, okay, because again, there's a respect for government. You may not like Trump, but at the end of the day, he's the president. We recognize the power that he has, and we don't need to take that on. Okay. But not Brandon Johnson.
Right.
And he's not taking that stand because he's got these people behind him, like Michael Rodriguez, that he believes has the power to override whatever this is that the federal government is talking about doing, because at the end of the day, they show a level of disdain for America. It's a level of disdain. You know, that's what that super socialist, super liberal minded person is. It's a level of, you know, a disdain for America.
That's right. That's it.
And then you got these black aldermen that's in here that's just lost. They trying to get as much as they can get because they just know it's about to go down, and they do nothing. So they not. So we out here feeding for ourselves, black people. Okay?
Come on.
Taking care of what they got to do. You got the white liberals that are doing what they got to do.
Fending for ourselves.
Yeah, you just got us out. Yeah, so we have no leadership in there. They just get. I gotta get what I can get because I already. Yeah, that's how they are in there. That's why they can't say nothing. That's why they voting with them.
Yeah,
you voting with them.
They voting with them. They're voting with them.
If you live in these areas where all these illegals are flooded in our community, what you voting with them for? How you voting the same way they voting? It's not affecting you.
And even for those that don't vote like they vote, let's say, for example, let's take Greg Mitchell, Alderman Mitchell. He doesn't vote for the money for illegals per se, but he doesn't do nothing to stop the stuff.
Stop it. Yeah, y'all. Yup. Yup.
This is
How about that?
one from
You got some like that they may not vote for the money, but they don't do nothing to stop it.
That's right.
Yeah, no, they can't do nothing because they done stole money from 95.
Yeah. And they got something on them. So
Yeah,
they got us. Yeah.
There was somebody named Maguro O'Hara. Thank you for the donation. He says, I'm from Little Village. I'm done with my aldermen and the rest of the Latino politicians. Done with the activists. You three keep doing what you're doing for your community, for real. We appreciate that. And yes, be done with that alderman. Be done. We're getting them out. We're getting them out of there.
Okay. So because we want people to really care about. See, the problem is we don't have a problem with brown. We don't have a problem with black. We don't have a problem with anybody because, like we keep saying, you supposed to look out for your people and make sure your people have and they supposed to do. So that's cool. We fine with that. But when you're not looking out for us, when we're the ones
you're not looking out for us and you're letting these people,
yes,
like Ms. Jackson say, pimp our plight.
Yes,
is in our face, and we're pointing it out, showing you, letting you know, telling you, and y'all aren't saying nothing. What y'all doing is not showing up to work, so y'all don't have to look at us.
Yup. That's the problem.
That's the problem. I have no issue. I have no problem. Help your own. But how are you going to let them help their own, take advantage of us, and you're not even going to say anything,
right?
Or do anything? You have to go. They got to go because we already know that they aren't for us and or anybody else but their own agenda. But now too, you guys cannot help us because you guys have your own specific agenda, or you guys just don't care.
Yep.
If you guys don't care, then you got to get up out of office.
That's right.
You do care, but you can't do anything because you done did your corrupt stuff, because clearly all they do is steal and lie, money laundering every day, all day down there. Then, hey, you got to go to jail.
Right.
You got to go to jail.
You know, the lack of care and concern for us is so prevalent.
Yeah.
Down there that it yields the type of behavior that you see with Michael Rodriguez. Michael Rodriguez makes a point to get up and walk around while we're talking. He makes a point to hold conversations with Vasquez and them while we talking. He makes a point to go over to the white alderman and stand with them, in other words, to let, to get a look like, I'm one of them.
Yep.
So he make a point. He make a point.
Every time.
He's that level of arrogance with him. When he does get up to make statements. Again, it's the entitlement. It's the you better, like him and Cicho Lopez. The only thing with his accent is not as bad as Cicho Lopez, but it's a level above the way Vasquez is. It's a level above that. It's even a level above Fuentes. It's him and Rosa. It's something different. It's something different. Michael Rodriguez, when you see him on the news, it's the arrogance. And even the fact that he's the one that said that, he's ready to go to federal court.
Yup, that was him.
To take Donald Trump to federal court if he tries to come here and do mass deportation. Who are you
if you
to say you want to take more taxpayers' money? After you've seen Chicago go completely in the hole, financial hole.
Right.
You see, and just real quick, I just go out there with that arrogance, please. And tell those women to get off the corner with those kids. Take that arrogance and those lawfully young immigrant men, go put them to work like you said. That's why they're here, because they so desperately want to work.
Right. But they desperately sitting outside.
But they definitely sitting outside. You know, they out there, it's cold now. And them women out there with little bitty babies, little bitty kids. Why are they not going to jail?
Yup. Because you would, yup.
We would, no American in their right mind, they would only have to be doped up, doping, for you to have your child. That's what gives a suspicion to me about child trafficking.
Yeah.
Because there's no way I would have my child.
So it might not be their child.
Brutal cold weather.
Yeah.
Because we're selling candy bars.
Yeah.
Because we need to sell these candy bars, because you can look at those women and look, like you say, look at the strollers. Look at their Popeye bags. Look at their clean clothes, their kids' clean outfits. They're not homeless.
Yeah.
These people are not homeless. There is no way I would have my child out there with some fake candy in cold weather with a blanket. Not my child. And I'm not in Venezuela anymore. Clearly, I'm in America. Clearly, I came here because they got better resources, better life. And I'm going to take that extreme poverty part of me and come sit on the corner and beg all day with my child. No, I'm not with my child. Now with somebody else's kid that I found in one of these camps. Yeah, I do that. With theirs. Yeah, I would do that with theirs, but with my child that I carried. And I went into labor for, because see, I got two. I got two children that I bore. And there's no way, unless I was doped out of my mind, when I have my 1-year-old, 9-month-old, 2-year-old, 4-year-old out here sitting on the concrete all day, begging. When I got on clean clothes, they got on clean clothes. We're not starving because I'm seeing the food that they eating when they sitting out there. And you see the food, so it's not about that.
Right.
Why is he not going out there with that same level of arrogance?
Yeah, I mean, he should be out there, right?
He's arrogant.
We should
extremely arrogant.
We should see no families nowhere near any vicinity of City Hall. How many do we? I see at least 7. And you see how cold it is? It's starting to get real cold.
Yeah, it's starting to get real cold.
No, they out there.
Yeah.
They out there.
And
that cold.
They out there with no man. Just them and the kid.
They definitely stay with Popeyes.
And they stay with Popeyes. Yep. If you all, so that means you all, if that's your alderman, and we understand that he's, we talking about Hispanics. Now think about it. You came over here the right way, or you had to come over here and pull yourself up by the bootstraps. Now these people have allowed other people to come in, to jump ahead of you, who came over here the right way, or if you just came over 20, 30 years, undocumented, but you wasn't getting anything like this. And so And these people have put these people ahead of you. So that means if you're waiting to get your, if you're waiting to get your citizenship and everything like that, and you've been working, paying into this tax system and doing everything the right way, trying to get your citizenship, trying to get everything right with you, and they take somebody from another place and put them in front of you, paper them up and do everything, that's not even right for you. That's a slap in your face.
Big slap, big slap. But let's get back into this man.
Okay.
So, he had a campaign contribution by a private booting company for $3,500. From it was the largest and most active private booting company in the Chicago area. It's called Innovative Parking Solution for Little Village. So he let a private company go into the community and boot those people's cars for $500. They found out about it, and when NBC reached out to him, he said, "Thanks for bringing this up. To avoid any perceived conflict of interest, we are forwarding these funds to COVID relief efforts on the southwest side of Chicago."
What?
Rodriguez.
He said, "Wait a minute, what? You got to break this down because, see, I'm a little slow, a little bit. What did you, because I like for real, what did you just say he did?"
A private booting company has made contributions to quite a few aldermen. He happened to be one of them for $3,500. DC5 investigated and saw that he was one of the aldermen to get a contribution from one of the largest private booting companies in the Chicago area, which is Innovative Parking Solution. He was the only alderman that responded back and said, "Thanks for bringing this up. To avoid any perceived conflicts of interest, we are forwarding these funds to COVID relief efforts on the southwest side of Chicago."
AKA our pockets.
Mike Rodriguez. No, well, I mean that too, but it was just so quickly how he hurried up and got rid of that $3,500. It's sort of like when we looked at Carlos Ramirez Rosa when he ran on not taking that extra money and then ended up like not holding up on his campaign promise about not taking that raise and then get in and take the raise. It's almost like the same thing this time. Yeah, you got this contribution. Like, why the heck? Like, how are you a Democrat socialist? Okay, you're a socialist. You're about these crooked companies and these private corporations, but you taking $3,500 from a private boot company.
Wow.
You a hypocrisy in all of this. You see what I'm saying? They sit here and talk about tax the rich. They sit here and talk about Trump being this rich person who's trying to take over America and mess America up, and he's about tariffs and all this stuff. But then y'all do stuff like, we're not going to take the raise, and then you go ahead and take the raise. We're tired of private companies that's trying to take from the citizens and all that. But then you taking the $3,500 contributions from these same private companies. But that y'all talk about the Republicans are all about and what they do and only care about. That's the hypocrisy for me. You understand? I'm making a amount of money, if not more. Okay.
That's it. They're the ones who doing it. Like Chris Como said it best. Remember at the DNC? Remember he was at the DNC?
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
He said it best, you all. When he said, "Look at up here. Look at all these donors."
Yeah.
Look at that at the DNC. When he said that's it. They talk about that, but they are the party who doing it.
Yeah. They are.
They getting their money. They getting their money in the name of social justice.
Yes.
Yeah, they getting their money. Now, did you say, excuse me, did you say he gave his 30, he said he was giving his 3,500 to the southwest side or the south and west side?
No, southwest side of Chicago, which is where Little Village is.
That's what I'm saying. It right back to, that's what I'm saying.
The COVID relief money that they still took money out to get to the migrant crisis.
To get to, that's what I'm saying.
That COVID relief money. COVID relief money that y'all gave to COVID, the COVID relief that never went to COVID. It went to, because COVID was planned anyway, but it went to the illegals.
Because it was what, 95 million? Winning $95 million from the COVID money, and that they end up taking and giving it to the immigration money. I mean, it was 95 million.
They just playing in our faces. They just playing in our faces.
What you say, they got boot companies, that private boot companies that they with, and now to get more money to the city. Now every time you look up, people gonna have boots on their car.
Yeah, these were private in their wards.
Yep. They have boots on their cars. Yep.
Screaming about affordable housing all day, but you taking $3,500 from the boot man. You take a 35.
And they come in there and go on and on about affordable housing.
Affordable housing.
Or you know what? I'm just saying allegedly they can be having. Look, I allow you to come in here and do this. You just give me my money. Pay me.
Yeah, that's basically what was happening.
Yeah,
but
pay my money.
NBC investigated it.
Until they investigate. So I'm gonna let you come in here and make your money off my people, off my constituents that I'm supposed to work for. I'm gonna let you take that, get your money, but give me my cut.
What kills me to me is they take these little amounts.
Right.
500, 2,000, 1,500. And let me see, if you do 10 or 11 kickbacks a year, but it's just crazy how you guys will get people to start side-eyeing you for these little amounts.
Those are the little amounts that we know about.
That we know about.
Yeah. You done sold
that we know about.
Little Village out for 35 for the boots, but you in there, I mean, champion. We need affordable housing. We need it. We need all this stuff. These private corporations, these private companies, and then here you go, taking money from ISP, and then when somebody asks, when the NBC asks you about it, it's thanks for bringing this up to avoid conflict of interest. We are forwarding these funds to COVID relief efforts on the southwest side of Chicago. Sincerely, Michael Rodriguez.
Oh God,
that's and what does thanks for bringing this up mean? What are you talking about?
Right, somebody should have been investigated.
Right, what are you talking about? Thanks for bringing this up. No, it didn't get brought up. No, it was investigated and revealed. Oh, thanks for bringing it up. Like this, by the way. No, you didn't got caught. Right, still. And thanks for bringing it up.
Michael Rodriguez had the contribution. Michael, we're talking about 22nd Ward, Alderman Michael Rodriguez. This is Famous Friday. That's who had the contribution. And he got the contribution from ISP. That is a private parking company in the Chicago area. One of the most largest private booting companies. They're probably the ones who are booting your cars. Okay.
Yeah.
It's innovative parking solutions.
So while y'all getting booted, Little Village or his district, if you came out with all them boots on your cars, this is why.
Yeah. So that's for the 35 that we know of. For the 35 that we know of on paper, you boot because of Alderman Rodriguez, who has given the 3,500 to the COVID. So now they really out there booting your cars. Okay?
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, it's so bogus. Thanks for bringing it up. After you done got investigated, that's like a criminal saying, thanks for finding my fingerprints. as I go over here to turn myself in.
Michael Rodriguez is another Danny Solis. If he's doing stuff like that, he's gonna wear a wire and he's selling y'all all out. I'm just trying. Okay. Right. Speaking of that, it may be the reason why he said that because of the whole one of his main things, like his controversy issue, a problem that a lot of people I think Little Village knows, stuff like that, and a few other people know, but they don't talk about it as much because I guess because it happened in 2020 was the Hilco spill. Little Village had an explosion over there, and it was bad. I'm trying. Yeah, it was.
What exploded? I remember that, but in case there's people in the audience that don't, what exploded?
Yeah, I'm about to read it. So it was a plant, the Crawford, the former Crawford power plant. So it happened in 2020. So get the details right here. All right. Right. I want to get the whole.
Because that was a big deal.
Yeah. It was a super big deal. I just want to make sure I have what I want to get. All right. So the Hilco demolition disaster in Little Village on April 11, 2020 was a tragic example of environmental racism and corporate negligence. The implosion of the smokes at the former Crawford coal plant sent a massive cloud of toxic dust into the predominantly Latino neighborhood, exuberating health risks in an already vulnerable community. The company responsible for the accident, Hilco Redevelopment, and its contractors agreed to pay the money as it was a $12.5 million lawsuit. Now, I heard that all it was an environmental issue, and it was all that toxic dust that went into the predominantly Latino neighborhood. Okay, health risks in an already vulnerable company, right? But anyway, to say that it was they only settled for $12.5 million. As many as 90,000 people in that area could be eligible for an injury payment up to $500. Right.
So they said it was racist. What did they say? Where did you read? They said it was.
The lawsuit was for no, it was an explosion, and the issue was there was a permit that it starts with the buildings department, which you know how I feel about the buildings department. My mother, just got out the hospital, so my sister keeps calling. So let me just take this call real quick so y'all can.
Okay. So yeah. So these people, this man they just do what they want to do.
They do it, but see, when I'm listening to this, she just said that this explosion took place in a heavily Latino area.
Right.
Then we talk about the issue with the gangs and stuff with them. This is what it seems like to me. It seems like to me that they take on, really what they're doing is they're taking on the same behavior that our Black aldermen take on, but a little different. What do I mean? They're establishing some type of elite Latino class, right? Where they don't mind mistreating a lower Latino class. See, just like our boule black people in position don't mind oppressing black people into poverty. It's learned behavior in America.
Yeah, all right. Sorry about
because
that.
America has always had an oppressed class, which has always been us, and it's always been known that that's one way that you're gonna come up.
Right.
Is by having an oppressed class, by having and they're learning that. Wow. Because like you say, while they're in there going hard for them to come over here, hard for them to come here, they don't put them in their neighborhood. They don't care anymore for their poverty level Hispanics than our city hall aldermen care for poverty level blacks.
Right.
It's that same oppression game, and they're doing it amongst each other. The only difference is publicly they stand together.
Yeah.
You know, they doing this because what Jesse say, like it or not, these buses gonna keep coming in the name of these people need to get here. These people need some safety. These people know when really, like we saw with those invoices and all the money that's not being calculated and accounted for from these shelters, they took those illegals and they came up on them. They used that like poor level Latino class.
And got their money.
And got their money. It's the same thing.
Yes.
The same thing. The same thing. It's just that our black aldermen, they didn't got so comfortable that they don't even have to front like they doing something for us no more. They just gonna participate in the oppression. Keep us down, but they didn't took us for granted so much because we fall for they black. So we gonna we black. That they said they don't even do as much as the Hispanics do in terms of they don't even act like they trying to get us something.
Wow. That's it. That's it, Miss Jackson. That's it.
Oh, but let me get back. Let's get back to this real quick.
Okay.
The Hilco explosion refers to the controversial demolition of a smokestack of the former Crawford coal plant in Chicago's Little Village neighborhood on April 11, 2020. The incident became infamous due to the large dust cloud that engulfed the surrounding residential area, sparking public outrage and widespread criticism of Hilco redevelopment partners who were overseeing the project. The purpose of it was the smokestack demolition was part of the Hilco redevelopment partners' plan to transform the decommissioned coal plant into a warehouse and distribution facility. The implosion generated a massive dust cloud that covered homes, streets, and parks in Little Village, a predominantly Latino working class neighborhood. Residents reported respiratory distress, property damage, and deep concerns about the potential health risks of the dust, especially since the incident occurred during the early stages of COVID-19 pandemic. The city of Chicago fined Hilco $68,000 for the incident, a figure criticized by community advocates as insufficient. Illinois Attorney General Kwame Raoul and Cook County State Attorney sued Hilco for violating environmental laws. Hilco issued a public apology but faced significant backlash for failing to adequately protect the community. So that was the main thing when it came to that. But fast forward, one of the issues I'm going to play this for because basically this is what Michael Rodriguez was saying that he had no idea about this. He didn't know about the demolition or anything like that. He didn't but he was there when they demolished the property. So these are some let's get some people who knew about it.
Mm-hmm.
Alderman Mike Rodriguez.
Here?
Yeah.
I know who they are now, and like, you know, kind of regular.
No, it's breaking up.
It's breaking.
What kind of dangers that
Breaking up?
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, man.
What is
You guys don't? Not here.
Try it again. Try it again. It's just like every other word.
Right, we could hear it, but it was blinking a little, but we could hear the volume is fine.
Yeah, it's breaking up. Try it again.
I want to begin by thanking Alderman Mike Rodriguez. And, you know,
It's-
so, you know, like, you know, kind of
No.
he completely was he warned dangers that it held? Did you know, what is he?
No, it's breaking up too bad.
It's breaking up. We can't get the full.
Well, I'm gonna send the link into the in here for the people so they can look
Okay.
at it.
Okay.
Okay, but what was it talking about?
Yeah.
He knew about, they call it the bombing of Little Village, but he basically knew about it. He knew that it was happening. He knew that the demolition permit was going to be issued 10 days before it happened. But he said he had no idea what happened. He was disappointed. He was out there protesting with them, protesting with some of the Little Village residents and all that, and he was there when they demolished the building.
So he knew it. He knew that was going to happen.
He knew it. He knew that it was happening. He knew that it was you know, that it was happening. But he was like, I some of the stuff that he was saying. Hold on, like he even did a statement. The state, of course, he puts everything on his you gotta go on his website, man. His website has everything. Let's see. I'm gonna read the statement that he put out after, because, and then I'm gonna send that to you. But they basically break down that he even knew in 2019 that if the place was hazardous, it shouldn't have. They should have stopped all construction. Nothing should have never been happening on that plant, because in 2019, a worker fell off that plant, and died. You know, already the activists and people were all in the community was already protesting against that plant. Was already saying that it was hazardous. It wasn't right, you know, and a worker that was working on the plant fell off and was killed and died. And, you know, and he knew about that. He knew that this place was not right. It was hazardous. Nobody should have been working on it or any of those type of things, but it didn't matter because how much money you think he got from that? You know, that's what they do. But let me read. So him like he didn't know about this and stuff like that. So he put let's put his statement. This is his statement. He did it in Spanish too. Okay. So he said on Thursday, March 23rd, our office will host a community update. And this was last year. You know, at his 3507 South Lawndale Avenue site, to which Hilco Redevelopment Partners and Target were invited to present updates. I'm extremely disappointed that Hilco and Target have stated that they will not attend the community meeting. The lack of presence is slap in the face for the residents of the area. In the 3 years since the failed implosion, Hilco has done little to restore justice to our community. Their efforts have not been enough. They can at least demonstrate some level of respect for the community by being present with requests are made for community updates. The dates was provided to them at the end of February, giving them plenty of time to make plans to attend. I am outraged by their lack of respect to our community deserves more. Until Hilco can present community updates to the residents in the area, our office, alongside community members and organizations in the 22nd Ward, are calling a halt for all construction work at 33rd and Lawndale. The meeting on Thursday, March 23rd, will still be held in Chicago Department of Transportation, Department of Buildings, and the Chicago Department of Public Health will be in attendance. Now, you say that you're disappointed, but you knew about this the whole time.
Ain't that something?
That this was a block, that this was botched. You knew that the demolition was you were there when they actually did this, you know, and you made it like you did not know. The alderman, they say that he failed to warn the community, even though residents had raised concerns about the demolition and before the demolition. The inspector general at the time, Joe Ferguson, he called the demolition disastrous, and that he blamed all city officials, including, it was Marlene Hopkins, who at that time she was part of the department, but now she's chair of the Department of Buildings. And this is what she does with demolitions. She is head of all demolitions in the city of Chicago. So the botched demolitions, the demolition that happened with my family's property is on her. She person who's orchestrating these demolitions out of the city, out of buildings department. He suggested, Joe Ferguson, that she be reprimanded, she be fired, the same as other officials. But she still kept her job because Lori Lightfoot at the time refused to share the report with the public and also refused to get rid of her. The report didn't become public until 2023, and that's when Michael Rodriguez started talking about he's outraged and all that stuff because it was hidden this whole time. And so he had no choice but to come out and say something about that, you know, I don't know, all of that stuff. And you knew the whole time.
It's the same play. Thank you for bringing it to my attention. You know, it's the same play. It's the same Democratic play we see at large. When they were telling us about the immigrants coming to our neighborhood, don't you see all of those aldermen? What did they lead with? I didn't know anything about this.
So did.
I just found out yesterday. The mayor just told me yesterday, and I called the meeting with my constituents today because I thought it was only fair that you all knew. I didn't know anything about it. All right. We're seeing it in City Hall at large right now. I mean, well, with the budget.
Right.
Let them tell it. They had no idea. They had no idea that it was going to be property tax increases. They had no idea that the mayor was this that he would refuse to be what do you call himself, the collaborator, that he won't collaborate. They want us to believe that they really were up against the wall and that they were pressed for time, and if they didn't approve the budget, then the city will close down. And it's the same play.
So it is.
This is what I always say. Pay attention to the party, not the person. Look at how the party rolls. It's the same play. They didn't know Joe Biden was losing his cognitive ability. They didn't know until the 25th hour. When they had to replace him with Carmella, they didn't know.
No.
They sitting right there in the White House with him, in meetings with him, traveling with him. But they didn't know.
That's right.
They didn't know. I bet you somebody went to Brandon Johnson and Tony Prickle right now. Let's say if the media just walked up on them right now. What about Jessica Jackson case and Zoe Lee case? I bet you Mayor Johnson and Tony Preckwinkle. I bet you they would break it to. I don't know. I don't know. I've heard about that, but I really don't know. I'm really going to have to look into that.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing that to our attention.
Yeah.
Right. The fact that, and that's what I'm saying, Mayor Lightfoot was just as terrible as every other mayor. You understand? Like, she knew, this is the second thing that she covered up too now. She covered police shooting when he first got up in there. You know, with the, and then this, with the, and the fact that this Inspector General, Joe Ferguson, said that, you know, the leak was fundamentally wrong. It undermined integrity, and they still covered up this 94-page this page release on how detrimental this was for the community. That's the smoke, the fact that it happened in the early stages of COVID-19 when nobody didn't know what was going on for COVID-19. You guys still gave this demolition permit out, knowing that this was this was toxic, that could have blew up the whole Chicago. It could have blew up the whole Chicago. You have the Inspector General who broke down how dangerous this was. Who were the elected officials? I mean, who were the city officials and Mike Rodriguez, who was part of this? And everybody still got their job.
That's right.
He had to step down. The Inspector General, he had to step down. But everybody, they still got. Matter of fact, Marlene Hopkins, she ended up being now she's the commissioner of the buildings department, and she was the one who gave out the demolition permit. And I told you, she's the one who sounds off on them. She's the one who go get the demolition the demolition companies to go out and to demolish these buildings.
So
and you have the mayor who hid it. You know, and he said, and you have somebody, and you have Alderman Michael Rodriguez, who was there at the site, but then said stuff like the constituents deserve to have the city officials responsible for oversight of the implosion held accountable. So what about
you?
This is what I'm saying. It's the deception of it all. It's you know, you knew about the demolition, but then you come before your constituents and you act like you're outraged. You act like you're infuriated, you know, when really you're part of the plot.
You part of it. Like your people that just stupid. Like you can just tell us anything.
Well, the good thing, the blessing in this, the blessing in this is that we see.
Oh, we got a troll in here. Raymond Lindsay, I promise you, is one of these aldermen. He's Hispanic KKK.
Yeah, what you say?
Y'all Chicago, just like I said, all the energy that y'all put into this, why don't y'all put the energy to stop these kids from killing each other in Chicago? You're just doing this is a new person, but this is a person, I promise you, this probably is Michael Rodriguez or one Hispanic KKK.
Yeah. We don't want to, because we don't want to talk about that right now.
Yeah,
There you go, Danny. You took the words out of my mouth.
Yeah.
You took the words out of my mouth. That's
we don't
it,
want
Danny.
to. We don't want to.
Danny.
We talk about what we want to talk about, and this is what we choose to talk about.
Come on,
so deal with it. If we talk about this for 5 more Fridays, deal with it. We talk about what we want to talk about.
You're going to put the energy in and go save them.
Right.
You gonna do it, Raymond, Lindsay. You gonna do it.
We talk about what we want to talk about. If you don't like it, go to another channel. We talk about what we want to talk about.
I give you one more time, and I gotta put you on timeout. See you next Friday. Okay. Now y'all okay? So that's but yeah. So that's so him to sit and talk about the mayor, you know, about the level of discipline and transparency under such a tragedy was not acceptable. You were not transparent with your whole ward. You weren't transparent with your ward. You were there when the demolition happened, but you act like you said that you weren't. You knew that it was going to be demolished 10 days before, and you didn't warn anybody. You didn't tell anybody. You didn't go. And where was your press conference? Y'all love to do a little press conference. Where are your press conference? Y'all be quick for the CTU and for the migrants and all that. Where was the press conference at, Michael Rodriguez, with little Lightfoot at the time? You were little Lightfoot, big suit Lightfoot, and y'all could have had a what's it called, a press conference. Y'all love to do a press conference,
right?
We know that y'all have all the news channels, right? Then y'all can hold a press conference like this. Emma Mintz told us that. We got it. We don't know. We couldn't get one, but we know that if one thing the Hispanic KKK can do is hold a press conference.
It's hold a press. So they didn't care. So they didn't care nothing about their people. He didn't care nothing about his people. He put all his people in danger. He didn't care nothing. So what did you think? So what you think his payment? What was that about? So is it about him lining his pockets with this, or what? What you think it is?
I honestly, how I know how this demolition thing works. They don't follow guidelines when it comes to demolitions or anything like that. They are so comfortable with just pulling these permits and contacting a demolition company to go out there and to demolish something. As a plant that is hazardous, toxic, has all those chemicals and stuff like that, you have to go through the right everything. The EPA should have been out there, the environment, all of those. Like, you have to have chemists out there. Like, that was a plant that we're talking about, a plant. Plants, a chemical plant. It was the greed of them the greed of the corporations, the companies trying to try what they were ever trying to do there. That was it. Trying to hurry up, fast track it, get the money, do it. That's what they were trying to do. But if you are a socialist, right? If you are a person that is against corporations and corporation greed and all what you guys talk about and campaign on and all that, like what's the BlackRock, like you always talk about how BlackRock is buying up everything, and we got to get rid of that, and we have to stop that type of stuff, and we got to do the affordable housing, and we have to have it structured. And then you knew that this was going to happen, and you don't say nothing. And you don't say nothing. And you don't. And you out there marching with them like, I don't know what it was. I don't know. This was unacceptable when you already knew that this was going to happen. You knew it. The deception of it all comes to they are cosplay for how they really care about the people, because they really don't care about them. They don't care. They don't care. Check for them, but they sit here and make it seem like they are for their people, and they're not. Just like we got ours that aren't for us. That black and brown is for them to get whatever coins that they can get to line their pockets, and then they have delusional followers out here that think that they're really for the community. And then there's some people that are really for the community, and they're out here following them for that. But whole time, Michael Rodriguez is out here lining his pockets with every private corporation that come in contact with him. Selling his people out. Are so against these private companies, these billion-dollar companies, these corporate, but y'all getting hella money from these same companies that y'all are against, and then you say stuff like, about that. Let me hurry up and give them. Okay, yeah, I got the money, I stole it, but let me hurry up and I'll give it away. Like if I get caught, then I just know what I'm about to say. Like, and then you'll say that and just think that it's gonna be okay because no one doesn't call you out on your BS. So that's the problem, and that's the issue when it comes to these aldermen. Like Ms. Jackson, these are the most important. This is a legislative body, the most important body of the government, and that is the alderman, the city council, and this is what they do. They play. You understand that? They got $12.5 million is the lawsuit that they settled. $12.5 million for that top. It's like the same thing that happened with Altel Gardens. What happened over there? I guess years ago with the environment, the air over there, and there was money. It was money that was supposed to be given to always make sure that the air over there. Let me make sure I got it right, because I know that Rahm Emanuel took the money out of the budget, and it was supposed to be for that because of the toxic air. And the same thing is basically the same thing that happened when it came to Little Village. You're talking about. This is why back in the day, like with lead and stuff, when kids was eating lead in school and in the houses and stuff like you're talking like that. It's that extreme. You understand? Yep. This is what can mess up your respiratory. Get cancer. This is where sometimes you got cancer that's come from the environment. Yep. This is stuff that you're breathing in. And these are people that they are head of wards. These are people that are actually in leadership over between 50 to 60,000 people per ward. Per ward. I mean, you look at this. You look at this explosion that you talking about for his ward, and knowing that that it was going to take place, and the harm that the toxics that would go into the air, but they did it anyway. You look at what they were going to try to do over there in Brighton Park, how they was going to build over there anyway,
knowing that land was toxic.
And
then
come in front of the cameras and go on and on and on about how, they just for the people, and they care about the people and the humanitarian crisis. We got to do this for the people, and tell you all about how the Republicans are racist and they don't care about you and they destroying the country. Only thing they want is the rich. All they care about is rich people. They don't care about you. They don't care about you. And look at the type of things that our aldermen are doing. Look, no regard for the health of your people. Not only do you not mind messing up, the citizens' money. Not only do you don't mind threatening our public safety, but you don't care about our health. But then you're going to get on here and talk about how everybody deserves health care. It's a basic need for the people. Everybody should have health care. But you are taking steps to destroy people's health. It's just the irony of it all for me. I just can't take it.
And we go back to the environmental justice in Altel Gardens. It was called it was nicknamed a toxic donut because it was surrounded by toxic industrial sites, landfills, and sewage treatment plants. So the people were over there drinking that water from the Calumet River, and they had higher rates of asthma, cancer, and other illnesses due to the exposures of the pollutants. So that's exactly what happened in 2020 over there in Little Village, and you offered them $12.5 million in a class action suit, and their 90,000 people is going to give $500 a piece, and cancer. And he gets up. I don't even know why this is wrong. I can't believe they did this whole time. You down there, you out there when they demolished it. Probably with a mask on.
Come on.
And you at you and little Lightfoot with a big suit. You understand what I'm saying? Like this, and during COVID, when they were telling y'all you can't go out, you can't do anything, right?
Locked up.
People couldn't even be out there really protesting and going off the way they want because you got Governor Pritzker and Lightfoot and them saying, no, you can't be out here, COVID, whole time, y'all
polluting the air, trying to pollute the air.
Y'all sneaking.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That stuff that happened during COVID, the stuff that they snuck in during COVID.
Mm-hmm. Well, they was locking us down.
Yep.
While they had us on lockdown, where they had black people talking about you gonna die from COVID more than anybody. You had more risk than anybody. Had you staying in the house away from everybody, you was almost scared to talk on the phone. Look at all the serious things that happened under COVID.
Under COVID.
The only thing that they let us do during COVID with no pushback was protest for George Floyd. See how they let all those people out there protesting for George Floyd?
Burned up and tear up our neighborhoods.
Remember, it wasn't about no mask. It wasn't about no 6 feet apart. It wasn't about no if you touch somebody, you could die. Protesting for those BLM organization to get all that money, which was a Democratic-backed organization.
Yeah.
Those protests and
take
riots. It was the only thing that we were allowed to do in COVID. Everything else was gonna kill us. While they tearing down, demolishing a building that's getting ready to put toxics in the air, your alderman is telling you he don't know nothing about it. This is horrible. This is horrible. But he was right there with it when it was going on.
That is so like this.
It's the reason why they don't deserve to continue to be in office.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be a real vetting process. You know, when you take somebody like Michael Rodriguez, who was able to get in his seat because the person that he was going against, or the predecessor, was such a loser.
Yeah, yeah.
Now here we go putting, so it's people just put him in. That's another part of the vetting when you go to looking at people coming in and take these seats now. Let's look at the quality of the person that they're replacing.
That's right. That's right.
Some of these people, based on who they're replacing, you can replace them with my Metro ticket. I mean, what would it mean?
Yep.
You got to look at who that person is replacing as well, so that you can determine if this person coming in is an actual good candidate, or are we going to forever be in that slot of the lesser of two evils?
Yep. Yep.
No, we want a good candidate and a better candidate.
That's
Not
right.
the lesser of two evils. We want a good candidate and a better candidate. We want to be able to decide who's the better candidate.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
That's right.
Because if we want changes, it had to be changes for every ward. Everybody got to be on one accord in order to make Chicago great again. We're going to have to, it can't be 10 aldermen that's good and the other ones that's garbage. You know what I'm saying? We have to, everybody have to be on one accord, and their goal should be making Chicago great again for everybody.
Yeah, restoring the city to the city that we want to live in. The city that we pay our taxes to live in, not some junk that they're throwing on us and making us be in the position of take it or leave it. From some people, take it or leave it. But some people that don't even have roots in this country, don't even have roots in the city. That 12, the ones that Zoe say, the KKK, the Hispanic KKK, they're literally telling Chicagoans, take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
And we got the power to take their positions, and we have the power because they work for us to let them know, no, this ain't how this goes. Y'all got this messed up. You all
but we got
us.
a mayor. But see, we got a mayor that's making them think this is how it goes. Yeah. Because we got a mayor that's extremely liberal. He's past the Democratic thing. See, what did you say that Michael Rodriguez, what you say? He's in a Latino progressive caucus. When you say something like that?
Caucus. The progressive.
What was it?
And he is, and he's like one of the heads. It was a Latino. And he's like one of the heads for the Latino caucus. The Latino caucus, like the city council Latino caucus, like they got the reject black, don't do nothing black caucus. You got the black do nothing caucus, and then you got the Latino really don't do nothing caucus either. That's the you want to say that? Yeah, they give don't do. The only thing is the Hispanic alderman, Hispanic KKK alderman. These are the new. This is the new machine that they're trying to bring in there. So the little things that they have or they've heard about the Michelle Harrises, the Walter Burnett's and stuff like that they're holding over their head, or like the stuff that they have over Hall's head and stuff like that. That's why they have the upper hand up there. But they are also just as trash about their community, just like them black.
And their behavior. And their behavior. And they're just as trash about their constituents, and they're just as trash with their behavior. But for whatever reason, the black aldermen, just like whenever we start looking at some of these white aldermen, they got junk with them too. But for whatever reason,
of course.
But for whatever reason, black aldermen step into the mindset of house Negroes and just don't say anything. They're not going to hold over their heads like what they hold their bad acts over their heads. They're not going to press those white aldermen the way the white aldermen would press them. Yeah, they're going to sit there like good house Negroes,
right?
And they're going to keep their mouth shut. But in terms of behavior, from what I'm seeing, these Latinos and whites and whoever, their behavior is no better.
No, they just do a better.
It's no better. It's just that our people are scared. Our aldermen are scared to hold it against them.
Right.
But they will hold what they know about black aldermen against them.
No, you're right.
Because look at their behavior.
It's the same behavior. Yeah, it's just
the behavior.
They just know how to disguise it.
They haven't been taught. This is why we can't compare our plight with everybody else's, because we do not have the same history.
That's right.
In this country as everybody else does. We do not have the same relationships with others as everybody. We were taught to save ourselves. You be a good house Negro. To save yourself, you keep your mouth shut. So we got our aldermen sitting there in City Hall being good house Negroes and keeping their mouth shut about what they know about what these Hispanics are doing or
That's
what
right.
these other aldermen are doing. They're keeping their mouth shut.
Yup.
Like good house Negroes been trained to do.
Yup.
You don't hear the term house Latino.
Yeah, you're right.
You don't hear the term house Asian. You don't hear the term white, house white person. No, that is a term coined specifically for a type of black behavior, and it's to a certain extent, it's a survival tactic.
Yeah. Yup. Yup.
Just want to let you know too. This is a little off the record, but it's not on the record, but it's still on the record. Mayor Johnson, he reaffirmed the welcoming city ordinance, basically doubled down on protecting the illegals. So he just put that out there. Well, his press team did.
He just put one out.
His commitment to welcome city ordinance. Chicago will continue to adhere to the Illinois Trust Act, which limits the city's cooperation with federal immigration authorities, particularly U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE. The city's efforts aim to make all residents feel safe and supported, regardless of immigration status. If ICE visits a city property, certain actions should be followed. Do not consent to ICE entering private or sensitive city locations.
I told you.
They present a judicial warrant. Document ICE's action carefully, including demanding identification from officers and noting any refusals to comply. Accompany ICE officers during any search, ensuring thorough documentation of search any items seized. And the guidance does not restrict federal agents such as ICE from gathering information regarding immigration status, but focus on limited cooperation unless required by law. So basically, yeah, he doubled down. I just received this from, shout out to my man, what's it called? My man, I don't even know if I'm supposed to say it yet, so I ain't gonna say it.
Okay. Well, so remember we was telling you what you say?
Yeah, but basically it was put out today at 5:15 p.m.
So remember we were telling you your alderman had even said that they were going to use your tax money to get illegals lawyers and legal representation so that ICE cannot come and get them. Your alderman said he was going to use your tax money to do that. So your alderman wanted, listen to you, your alderman wanted to vote for you to have property taxes. They were okay with you being taxed. But yet and still they want to use your tax money. They want to tax you who can't hardly afford to live. But they want to tax you more. And they wanted to get illegals who haven't paid a damn in the system, who skipped over you to come in. And they wanted to, and now they want to give them free legal services to make sure that Trump can't come and get them. So this is what your alderman wants to do.
Yeah, so I'll tell you, it's about to get, because it's about to get
real ugly.
It's about to go. It's about to get wild. It's crazy though, Ms. Jackson. We was talking about it earlier, but yeah. So there you go. Now that was just at 5:15. You just brought that up before you left. Before I saw you earlier today. Before you left earlier today. So yeah. So I'm just you already. So there's your question. There goes.
And then because I get a lot of people, Hispanics, hitting me up on TikTok. And a lot of you all not with this. Like you all hit me up like, Danny, I can't stand this. I want them to go, get out of our neighborhood. We not for this. We can't. A lot of you all not for this. And this is how this is allowed. Your alderman is allowing it.
Yeah, because the mayor doubled down on it. But if the aldermen weren't with it, they would make a statement.
They can stop them. They can stop.
They will make a statement saying, no, we're getting ready to file an injunction or whatever in the federal court to say, no, we do not want more tax dollars going towards this issue.
Yeah. Because you all have to understand, don't think that it's over with. You all, they're voting on more budgets. So don't think that you're out of the water with the property tax. So you're already being taxed. We're already nickel and dime, and you're gonna feel it. Now, they're going to come back and propose more property taxes and more taxes because they have to pay for this and line their pockets and then stole some money. So you're now out of the clear with this. So now if they're spending all your tax dollars on this, on illegals, and now giving them legal services and things like that, they're going to come back and give them and raise your taxes, property taxes, or other things like that. They're going to come back in these budgets and propose that. Watch.
You're right about that. So I'm just saying, like, so this is a time, honestly, there's an ICE number out there. You start calling ICE right now. I'm going to call every day because you're not going to violate our U.S. Constitution.
No, you're not.
American citizens, and we have rights, and that U.S. Constitution is for us. They're using the U.S. Constitution to protect the illegals, and that Constitution is for us.
Yeah.
For the people. We the people, not we the illegals. We the people.
That's right. So
and people need to start understanding this and need to really start. I can say, if you can't get down to y'all city council meetings, you guys really need to be organizing in your wards. 22nd ward, like we're talking about this man right now, to get him out of office. He ran against two other people. I'm get these names out now. Yeah, I got some names now. Okay, over there in the left here. I know we got them too now. Christian Armendariz, Kristian is the first name. Last name Armendariz, and Neftali Gonzalez. Neftali, then Gonzalez Gonzalez. They challenged the alderman in 2019 to represent most of Little Village. So, and part of Midway Airport, City Council, all of those things. So yeah. So just let you know that you guys need to start coming back out. And one was a ex-police officer. So, but yeah, you guys need to start coming back out. But people need to start organizing to get these people out of office. Having people run against these people in your ward, especially the Hispanic. Anybody that's pushing a socialist agenda automatically has to get out of office.
Yeah.
If you are pushing any type of socialist agenda, if you're a democratic socialist, you these people have to get out of office. They have to get out of office now, and they never ever can ever run again. They can never run again. They need to be blacklisted from any political organization, anything like that. They're dangerous to our community. They're dangerous to our state. They're dangerous to the United States of America, and there are pockets of them everywhere in Congress in these democratic cities and states because they were snuck in 2019. And like I tell people all the time, AOC is the prime example. She is the main example. She is the main prime example of what we're witnessing. What we're witnessing. She's dangerous. And anybody that's with her are dangerous. Okay. And that's for their agenda. And Brandon Johnson is dangerous and an idiot. He's an idiot. He's dangerous. And that's just pathetic.
That's just it. That's just what it is. And any time that you doubt that, I encourage you to go back and look at that YouTube that you did with his picture. I think what's the name of So This Is Our Mayor?
Yeah, this is our mayor, yes.
Yeah, go back and look at that photo. Look at that photo of him sitting there with his legs crossed, locked arms with these liberals. Look at that picture. Look at that picture. And then accept the fact that this is our mayor. This is our mayor. This is who this man was all of what, 3-4 years ago. This is who this man was.
Right.
And somehow he has eased his way into this mayoral position. And all I could say is I'm literally counting on the actions of others besides Black people to deal with Brandon Johnson. I'm being honest with you. I don't even expect us to deal with him. I know that we're not. I know that a few of us will. If I just be honest, I think a few of us will. Will accept that he's not a good choice. Black or not Black, he's not a good choice. I think a few of us will accept that. But I think that the way that we're going to get rid of him is because other races are saying no, that they just need a few Black people to say it's all right.
Right.
Yeah, because remember, y'all came out, Hispanics, you all came out in large numbers and voted for Trump. Because you all not with this agenda. You know it's not beneficial to Americans and us and you. We know this. So yes, we gotta stand
and it's going to be bad, because one thing that we know for sure, Donald Trump and Tom Homan is not going to let Brandon Johnson make a fool out of them. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
you can take that to Vegas and bank on it.
They ain't gonna let this goofy mohawk wearing makeup wearing mayor make a fool out of them. Right.
Yeah. That agenda, like I said, that agenda ain't right. It ain't normal, and he gotta go.
Yeah.
Yeah, they I'm trying to tell you, they're trying to take over our school. Let me tell you, this is why they got to. They're trying to take over our schools. They're trying to take over the government. They're trying to take over our city.
The job market.
Over the job market, the housing. They're trying.
Housing.
What else? What else they can take it over? Yeah, they're taking over. Yeah, everything that we. Yeah.
That America fought to build. See, that is crazy to me. I know Black people fought for what we fought for. Ain't no two ways about that. But white people fought for a lot for this country too. Though we don't agree with their tactics. Their tactics was very wrong.
Yeah.
But they built this country with it. And no, they are not going to lose it to the likes of a Brandon Johnson. Now they let these Black leaders for whatever reason. It could have been part of the hoodwinkness of it all. But for whatever reason, they allowed us to be in leadership positions for X amount of time.
Yeah.
And it ran whatever course that it ran. But the end result, I can guarantee you with my 62-year-old self, I can guarantee you the end result will not be the likes of a Brandon Johnson stopping the federal government. It's not going to be the likes of a Michael Rodriguez, a Jesse Fuentes. No, it's not. No, it's not.
Yeah.
Now, it ain't going to be by us for a minute, but white boys going to protect their country.
I I want us all to come together, but you're right. But yeah, I want us all to come together, and I feel like we are. I think enough is enough.
Right, and we are. Those of us who realize that we are Americans.
Americans.
Ain't nobody saying not to have a radical mentality in terms of looking out for your own and understanding the needs of your own. Nobody's saying anything against that. But what's going to pull this train on through the station is for us to understand we're coming together as Americans.
Coming together. No, you're right.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You know, because it really does boil down to that. Even for the people that are Latino or Asian or Indian that are actual citizens that have been here for, let's say, 3-4 generations, have been here, made their lives here, and let's say like an Alderman Tavares. Do you really think that she says it all the time, her and her constituents, no, they're not willing to just turn this over to illegals?
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
They have a love for the country too, especially if they've been here for some generations, and especially if their parents did come the right way, or if their parents did come and been here for 10 years, 30 years undocumented, but have stayed law-abiding citizens and paying taxes into the into the system. They have developed a love for the country. It's these that's coming in illegally. That's getting something for nothing.
Right. No, you're right. You're definitely right. You know, I got any last words?
You gotta go see about your mom and stuff.
Yeah. We got any last words? I know I've always said, well, this is what I used to say before I realized, like when I started realizing this was crazy, I was like, you know, let the whites fight. You know, let the whites fight with the environmental thing, because they were talking about that. Let the illegals fight with the non-illegals, and let the blacks demand their money from this government that we've been chilling on. But now, you know, with this whole situation, but when you come to America, like, I feel like this is the final movement. This is the movement of common sense. This is America First movement. It's not about no black, white. This is about America and saving America, and not allowing these sellout coons and these Hispanic
whatever race you might be. Because it's clearly a coon looking like it could be a Hispanic alderman too.
It's Hispanic, well, I call it Hispanic KKK. These sellout coons, you know, and these white liberals destroy our country.
Yep.
So it's the battle of them, and taking our government back, and that's it. And we don't have to like each other. We don't got to be buddy, but we got to move as a unit. If you America first, we got to move as a unit, and we have to take back what is ours, and that's just what it is. I don't want nothing else. That at the end of the day, we are under attack with these socialist people who are trying to take over the government. Talk about how messed up these Republicans are, and try to push it off of race, and racism the whole time, and misogynistic and homophobia and all of this stuff, trying to
xenophobia.
What are you talking about? That has anything to do with you guys really terrorizing? Y'all are terrorists. Y'all are terrorists. We are under a terrorism attack. We are under a terrorism attack, and we see that every time. They're violating all the laws. They're violating
all the laws.
They're violating their oath. They're violating their right hand and the Bible. They violate everything. Everything. They have no morals. They have no conscience. They have no heart. They have no humanitarian skills. They do not care for us. They are selfish. This is a selfish political financial gain for themselves, and they are using us. They're using our oppression, our oppression for their financial gain.
And again, it's just a deception of it all. A few days ago, Krista made the statement that he really didn't, talk to Brandon Johnson like that. To make, he talked to him a few times, giving the impression that, I don't rock with him like that. Kind of like, sort of distancing himself. Now let's see. You said that Brandon Johnson made this double down statement after 5 o'clock today. Okay, let's see if see if he comes out with a statement and say that he don't support what Brandon Johnson just did. That he feels that as the governor, we need to support the president. Let's see if Pritzker come out with a statement like that. I bet you he don't.
Bet you he don't.
I bet you he don't.
So, and last words, Miss Jessica, Danny, my daddy, Miss Jessica.
Michael Rodriguez is just like what I thought he was, an arrogant, non-caring, self-centered alderman that's using illegal immigration, as a way for some personal benefit.
Yep.
That in a nutshell is that Michael Rodriguez, aka Light Bulb Head Chucky Doll.
Okay, real quick. So y'all recap. He booted y'all cars, put your health in danger, sold you out with illegals. Recap. This is your alderman. Right. There. So this is what we are all, like we saying, these people come in white, black, Hispanic, all of them. So what we saying is, as Americans and as people who trying to do the things the right way, this is our common threat. We're not looking at color. We're not looking at race, you all. We're looking at, like, we look at the party, the common threat. That's what we got to look at, you all. And we got to come together as Americans and save America.
Right.
We really ain't got nowhere else to go. We really don't. Like you can talk all that radical junk you want about her. At the end of the day, unlike Michael Rodriguez and Vasquez and Jesse Fuentes and Rosanna and all that, we don't have nowhere else to go. No. This is all we got. Yeah. This is all we got. America and Capitol Hill. That's what we have. That's what we got.
Yeah, that's all we have. And obviously, and people who left y'all country, obviously y'all wasn't liking what y'all country was, because y'all came here. So technically, this is all you all have too, because this is where you put your.
My thing is, if I was like a person that was Hispanic or from another country, and I was raised here, born, or even came over here, I've got into politics and stuff, I would be fighting for America to continue to be the best country that it can be. So when I go back I give back to my country. Yeah, like that's the whole purpose.
That's right.
Yeah, so it's backwards, because they're anti-American. They have a vendetta. They have something in their mind all made up. They believe that we just took the whole. Mexico was really America. It's a whole other.
All of that. That we the indigenous people. They took this country from us. Yeah, all of that.
So yeah, nobody got time for it.
Yeah.
I was know we're gonna do Famous Friday next Friday, but 2 of us will be in DC for Famous Friday. So we're down there for the inauguration and Trump 2025.
2025, baby. Trump 2025, baby.
DC for that, but we're still doing Famous Friday, but live from DC.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. All right. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Please like and subscribe, share, and
Yeah.
when you will tune in. We're gonna do it Monday. Committee meeting on Monday. It's finance committee meeting. One of the most important committee meetings to be in. So if you're not doing nothing, City Hall, you should be down there. 10 o'clock in the morning. And Ms. Jackson will be at the red hat, and we will know who is the next disgrace 50 to come out that hat.
Yes.
Shout out to Tax Credit Academy for letting us hold the space.
Yeah.
Patrice L. Stewart, please check her out on YouTube. But we appreciate her for letting us use the space for Famous Friday. Appreciate that. Love y'all. All hands on deck. Chicago Flips Red. And please follow us on X, Chicago Flips Red, YouTube, Danny C, my Patrice L. Stewart. Shout out to Dave. I don't know where he at, and the rest of the crew. That's Chicago Flips Red crew.
Red.
Thank you, Carla, Nicole Patrice. Thank you for pulling up. Nicole Patrice has a dope YouTube too, Nicole Patrice.
She does.
Yes.
YouTube page as well. I love y'all. Thank y'all. God bless America. God bless the city of Chicago. And we know we got, baby.
That's it. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. See you guys.